Hey everyone, I want to start off by giving a fair warning that this will include accounts of domestic violence, emotional and animal abuse, communicating with underage girls, as well as mentions of blood and pregnancy. Please be respectful towards any victims mentioned, as well as the other creators that have come out about their experiences with Adam. Lastly, do not harass Adam. He is mentally ill, and telling him to kill himself is not constructive in the least. Adam Dahlberg, aka SkyDoesMinecraft, aka NetNobody, aka SkyDoesEverything, started his career on YouTube in February of 2011. Thanks to the popularity of the recently released game Minecraft, his videos on the game became widely popular as well, making him one of the biggest Minecraft YouTubers of the time, continuing his success until Minecraft lost its prevalence around the mid-2010s. After having minimal success with his music career as NetNobody, he reverted back to his original channel with the new name SkyDoesEverything, where he continued making Minecraft content among other games until he seemingly gave up on YouTube when his return didn't grant him the viewership he expected. He hadn't uploaded on the platform for several months before his career came to a halt by the hand of another. Adam's second wife, Elizabeth, who he hid from the public eye for some time, posted a 7-page expose about the emotional, physical, and psychological abuse she experienced while with Adam. How she was forced to marry him, forced to have a child, and went through so much emotional manipulation that she openly mentioned to him that she wanted to die. His response? Nobody wants to hear that you want to die when we all do too. If you want to skip his background, fast forward to this time. Adam's claim to fame, though somewhat short-lived, put him at the forefront of the Minecraft content community alongside notable creators like Captain Sparkles and DanTDM, and his videos were often collaborative, either with other large creators or his own group, which included smaller channels like Deadlocks, Ant Venom, and the now big creator Aphmau. His Minecraft handle, SkyTheKidRS, stemmed from his original channel where he uploaded RuneScape gameplay before Minecraft Java was first introduced, and he went from just another creator to the 19th most subscribed channel by 2013. He had a dedicated following of recruits who he referenced to in his outros constantly, as well as his popular inside joke calling gold ingots butter and his fictitious war against the Minecraft squids. He even had an animated parody song released in late 2013 titled New World, based on the Coldplay song Paradise, currently sitting at 88 million views on YouTube. After his first failed engagement to a member of Team Crafted, a group of Minecraft content creators, he married Elisa, and the two worked together on a Lovecraft series before separating, then getting back together for a brief time until she supposedly cheated and therefore ended the relationship completely, though the two had a son together, Mason, before doing so. Around this time, he had created his channel NetNobody after deleting his main channel, which had around 12 million subscribers he had gathered from over the years. And amongst other songs, he released on his new channel a diss track on KSI, another controversial YouTuber who followed up by making his own. Adam admitted in one of his videos that he came from a highly dysfunctional family in which his father was an alcoholic and his mother abused drugs, and he was soon put up for adoption. It really sucks to hear that, as someone who used to watch every one of his videos. He was raised in such a toxic household, but nevertheless, it doesn't excuse the trauma he put others through. On January 23rd, 2022, his second ex-wife, Elizabeth, who did not want to share her last name with the public, uploaded a multitude of files and written confessions on Twitter exposing Adam's behavior while they were together. Despite having been an avid fan of him when he was at his peak, his abhorrent behavior is inexcusable and begs the question of how long it had really been going on for. Elizabeth, who goes by Liz, claims Elisa also experienced this side of him, and she supported Liz through much of her struggles while with Adam. The first line, which was directed towards Adam himself, read, "I'm going to do my best to be the voice you have taken away from so many. You hurt, you abuse, you manipulate, and you lie. She first talks about how she was forced to have a child with him, although she felt she wasn't ready for one. Him claiming, "Please, please, I want another kid. I have the money." She cried herself to sleep due to his manipulative tactics, and yet he managed to maintain his relationship with her despite constantly cheating with other women. Some Liz claims were underage because she wanted so desperately for him to improve his mental health with medication and brain exercises, but she goes on that he would always revert to his old ways and spend all of their money on drugs and junk food, forcing her to sometimes foot the bills. When she announced to Adam that she was pregnant, his reaction was extremely underwhelming, considering how adamant he was in having the child. He forced her to propose, claiming she had to because she was pregnant with his kid. Then he said he was willing to buy the baby off of her for $100K. "If you don't want her, I'll just give you $100 grand or something," he said. Yet Liz went on to claim he hadn't had that kind of money in years. As for his own son with Elisa, Liz claims she spent more time with Mason in 3 months than Adam did in a year, and that he only had father pics to uphold his online reputation as a good parental figure. She did end up proposing to him, yet he staged it online as if she did it without significant influence on his part, just essentially perpetuating the lies he was selling to his dedicated fan base. We were so oblivious, even when she was hurting most. Liz mentioned how Adam would steal money from companies to buy drugs and never do the work, and he lied to her face, complaining that he had to pay for everything. Though she was often belittled and literally screamed at by Adam, she still tried to love him as best she could in the hopes he would improve. She made him his 2 favorite foods, and he threw the plate onto the table in anger, claiming he couldn't eat now. He forced her to move a 300+ pound washing machine and degraded her for not being able to do it even though she was pregnant at the time. Although these don't seem like little things, they are compared to what he's claimed to have done. Adam cheated on her constantly, sexually harassing women online, and even sending nude photos to underage girls, then paying to keep them quiet. He cheated with Liz's best friend, who she saw as a sister, and according to Liz, she's still with Adam currently. He even went so far as to openly admit to Liz that he was communicating with a Twitter AI, and that she is the only one that can understand him, despite Liz's many efforts to help him mentally and financially. Liz states that there was a point where his behavior significantly worsened from this. He became violent, destroying their home by ripping things from the walls and throwing objects around, which was terrifying for Liz. At that point, she didn't know if she was physically safe around him. He abused her pet pig, Albert, by forcing him to consume Gatorade and candy, by leaving him outside in the cold to almost freeze to death. He would grab him by the neck and throw him in his kennel, then place mirrors all around him. He told Liz he wanted to hurt people, to kill people. According to her, he said he wanted to kill his old YouTube friend Ant Venom, and that he would constantly say that he hates the guy. And Liz's first encounter with Ant was when she had to pull the phone away after Adam was screaming nonsense to him over the phone, which Ant Venom confirmed on Twitter. He wanted to kill his roommate even, and in a rampage, he slashed his roommate's bed with a knife while they weren't home. He constantly shit on Post Malone even, someone he used to be friends with, and even Austin, Post Malone's real name, wanted his mental state to improve. Even while pregnant, Adam constantly forced Liz to not eat or sleep. He would take her food away from her when she was too tired to fight him for it. Many times when she tried to rest during the day, he would snap her awake just for the fun of it. And one time, he even dragged her forcefully out of bed by the arm, where she says she felt a tear in her stomach. Even when he was stable, he was manipulative and derogatory towards Liz and others. He used the N-word a lot with her, which made Liz uncomfortable as Adam is white. He is just straight up white. Despite him claiming online that he was bisexual back in 2013, Liz says he was extremely homophobic, especially towards her as someone who is bisexual and hadn't come out yet, throwing slurs and generally disgusting behavior her way constantly. One time, while he had Mason over, he randomly punched an amethyst crystal and cut his hand severely, yet he refused to get proper treatment for it for some time and would write things on the walls and mirrors in his blood, forcing Liz to keep rebandaging his wound. Eventually, she was able to get him through the hospital doors, where social workers noticed his behavior towards her and had security escort Liz safely out of the building away from him as they kept him overnight. Even then, she called him multiple times from home, showing love towards him that he never wanted and he always took for granted. After his release, he was back on his same shit, and she was forced to call 911, pretending it was a friend so she could exit the house in order for the police to have eyes on her. When he noticed what she was doing, he tried to pull her back inside before he noticed the cops. Then he tried pretending he was just cleaning. Only the food and trash that littered their home contradicted his claim. Observing him kicking over a box of diapers, one officer had her hide behind them, and he was further hospitalized. While he remained in the hospital, he continued harassing her over the phone. He brought up recordings she had of him threatening to kill people, and she was so mentally scarred and exhausted by him at this point that she inflicted harm on herself before remembering she had a child to take care of. In these times, she would think of her previous lover, who she still loved, that had claimed his own life in 2016, and the thought of him was enough to help her go on. But Adam still convinced her to let him out once more. Despite Liz's and many other people's extensive efforts to help Adam improve his mental state, he continuously threatened to end his own life as well, and sometimes considered it a joke to do so. He would say things like, "But it's funny," and "ha, memes," even when his fans would show their concern online for him every time he claimed he would end his life. Eventually, Adam's repetitive behavior became too much. Throwing things, screaming at her and her dogs, not letting her sleep, taking her food from her, saying vulgar things towards her constantly, that one night as she was crying, he actually told her to call her father. And when he answered the phone, he could tell his daughter was in trouble. He drove from another state to pick up her and her things, and Liz left without neither her nor Adam saying a thing. She admitted to wanting to be with him after they were apart, a sort of Stockholm syndrome in which she was somehow dependent on him regardless of his many misdeeds. She tried sending loving texts and letters to him, and he was still cold and disdainful towards her, like they were sworn enemies. She ended up having the child far away from him, and to this day, it's assumed that Adam has not seen his daughter, despite him claiming online that his new girlfriend, Liz's ex-best friend, was the bearer of his second child. In the end, she felt she had failed him and his fan base for not being able to make him better. Questioning herself, did I do enough? Adam shared some of the conflict online, which garnered multiple death threats sent to Liz from his fans, yet she asserts that she doesn't hate the fans. After all, they were completely unaware. We were all unaware of how dangerous Adam actually was once the cameras were turned off. Adam's only response so far has been to Keemstar when he reached out to Adam asking him to comment on the accusations, in which Adam said, "I was very sick mentally at the time, in and out of hospitals, and on several new medications that were affecting me." Keemstar also claims that him and Adam are friends, but since I'm not a news organization, I can call his bullshit and claim that he's just using his illness card in order to absolve him of his many crimes, and he's not going to get away with this. A series of tweets from people on Twitter and the YouTube community sided with Liz immediately, and some old friends of Adam's shared their experiences with Adam where they were manipulated and screamed at constantly. Now, it's unclear how legitimate these claims are, but because they exist online and because they did work with Adam in the past, I will consider them valid claims for the time being. Adam's ex-wife, Elisa, who he claimed cheated on him with multiple YouTubers and friends in the past on DramaAlert, confirmed Liz's words. She stated how there was no custody plan in place, yet Adam went on Keemstar's show back in 2017 and demonized Elisa for wanting to keep her son safe away from him. And she blamed Keemstar for encouraging Adam to come on the show and play the victim. Part of this drama also surrounded his beef with KSI, as they both made diss tracks against each other when KSI claimed Adam's music sounded like Post Malone, which he took offense to, as he wanted to be a unique musician. KSI also employed Elisa in his diss track further triggering Adam to come on DramaAlert to slander her. In these interviews between Keem and Adam, he constantly contradicted his own actions by claiming Elisa was abusive towards him and constantly tortured him mentally, which is arguably one of the most hypocritical things I've ever heard in my life. Just listen to this.
Her for continuing to ruin my life when I haven't done anything to her. I haven't done shit to you. You would talk to other people, you would speak to other people. You can't disprove anything I'm fucking saying, so fucking try to do it. I have nothing to lose because the only thing that I want is my son. I gave up my channel, I gave up everything. I gave up my income, I don't care about it anymore. I just want my son.
Elisa continues in multiple posts on Twitter claiming he wrote a love song for another girl, and she had to admit that to her friends, that Adam painted her as an abuser in order to try taking her custody, and that he bribed his first ex-girlfriend Dawn with their old pit bull in order for her not to join Elisa in writing an affidavit against him. Ross Powell, who owned the channel House_Owner, decided to take some time off away from Adam before he asked Ross if he would rejoin them for a second part of a series they had done called Roommates. And Ross voiced his hesitation before Adam claimed, "You're doing it," not giving him a choice in the matter, even though he did no longer work for him. He also told Ross that he could only have his channel back for $100,000, assuming there was some sort of deal where Adam had gained control of House_Owner. And when Ross said he would rather just make a new channel, Adam became furious. Tim.tv, another content creator that was a part of Sky Media, claims that working at Sky Media was the darkest period of my life, where he experienced constant gaslighting and mental torture from Adam that led him to contemplate unaliving himself, which is why he has since distanced himself greatly from Adam. Deadlocks, someone who was prominent in the SkyDoesMinecraft community and was often shipped with Adam as Skylocks, responded to Liz saying he himself was scared of Adam, as was everyone else, and that he essentially regrets having been friends with Adam, considering his intimidation tactics he would often use against him and the rest of his staff. Mythzan, who worked as a video editor for Sky Media for a little over a year before quitting around the same time as Tim, recounted the manipulative behavior Adam, who is referred to as the CEO of Sky Media, perpetuated in the office, forcing Max, Mythzan's IRL name, to often work 15 to 17-hour shifts, coming in as early as 4 in the morning. He chose to quit because his hopes of being successful with Adam were diminished, as he was handed a mere $5,000 deal in exchange for his channel and name, among other things, which he had created as early as 2005, and he did not want to let that go. Despite Max's hopes of being talent among Adam and others, he decided to leave. After Adam discovered Max blocked him on Twitter, he sent his fans to harass him and send death threats, which led him to contemplate ending his life as well. When his YouTube career was halted as a result of this, he went to work as an editor for Aphmau, a fellow Minecraft YouTuber, and the hate only worsened as Adam abused his power to vilify Max and Tim. Max claims the reason he didn't speak out before was because Adam threatened to sue him, saying, "No matter if I'm wrong, I will bleed you dry in court from lawyer fees and you will have nothing." Crispy Cloud, aka Tyler, aka Munching Brotato, tweeted that the reason he deleted his original Minecraft channel was because "this nut actually scared me out of my career." He was sent hate just as the others were, and he still receives it to this day. Tyler stated Adam treated him like he owned him, and Tyler chose to move on rather than depend on Adam's success, which was diminishing as his aggression and threatening behavior turned everyone away from him. More people stated that they had issues with him in the past as well, but not nearly to the degree that Liz experienced. Adam isn't just canceled, he is a criminal. And as someone who also deals with depression and anxiety, Adam needs to be placed in a psychiatric ward and be under constant supervision. This is not a man who should be allowed to walk these streets and maintain his status as one of the biggest creators in the Minecraft community, regardless of his success in the past. Maybe he wasn't always this terrible towards others, but his freedom to dominate others within the YouTube community and in his own life led to so many people's lives being destroyed by him. I wish I knew what I know now when I used to watch his videos religiously, because I could never associate myself with such despicable and abusive behavior. As I said in the beginning, do not send hate his way. I imagine he is already experiencing enough death threats as it is, and being as mentally unstable as he is, he should probably be under intensive care as soon as possible. If there's anyone else out there that's experiencing stuff like this, please seek help. Please let other people know. This stuff cannot hide in the shadows forever. Please do not let it. Do not let these people destroy your life just because they have an audience, just because they have fans that'll be disappointed without them. It is worth sharing that information to make sure that no one else has to go through this kind of trauma. All of this information is available online on Twitter, and yeah. All right, guys, deuces.